Hello and welcome back. So a few episodes ago I designed a gun turret building site and forgot to put prog mods in my gear machines, which is a shame. So this thing here currently consumes, I don't want items per second, I want items per minute, 36.7k of iron. And a good chunk of that goes into making gears. And it is reasonably well ratioed out. We are within a gear build of being the right number without the prog mods. So the way it works is there's one more gun turret than gear machine. Okay, so this is what we should have done. Should have been gears with prog mods. If I take two of these gears with prog mods, okay, so we are in credit on the gear machines. So let's start building up an array using these two designs. And I'm gonna, don't need that inserter. Let's take this and give it gun turret. Okay, and then the other one should be gears. Yeah. That's a bit fiddly to see. Okay, so let's nuke these and start placing them down. I've got a feeling we're going to be much closer to a one-to-one. So one of those. One of those. Another gun turret. Alright, let's count the ratio here. So we are in credit for gears. Wow, okay. So we could put down another gun turret. Now we're in deficit for gears. So gears, gun turret. We're in credit. So it looks like it is gun turret, gears, gun turret. We don't have all the beacons down. Great. Okay, I'm going to leave all the requests the same. So let's just check them. That is requesting 1k. That's 1k. Yeah, I can leave all the requests at 1k. Okay, so this should be near enough. Yeah, that's still in credit. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm looking for a blueprint that I can safely nuke. That one. That would extend this out. Okay, so let's count that. So that uses 18k of plate. And remember, we're looking at something less than 40. So that is a half build. And this produces this says it produces 525 gun turrets per minute. And this build produces 393, so this is much better. Okay, so where are we here? That's our little build. This is our great big build. And let's give this a cray icon just so that we can find it. Something bright. Poison capsule. Okay, so the poison capsule build is only very slightly bigger. It's still going to fit within our logistics range. It's substantially more throughput. Excuse me, I'm drinking a cup of tea. So the entertainment now is that we have a live build to move. Items per minute. Let's go back to stack filter inserters. So we need 12 for plates. So we have 8 carriages, so that would be 2 per carriage. That would give us 16. I'm just taking these off carefully. Okay, so that gives us 16 inserters. Then we need hardly any copper ones and hardly any for the gun turrets. So we can just have, we can have one of these per carriage, I think. So it says it needs 2.3 stack inserters to keep everything running. We have 8 carriages. So 1 per carriage is sufficient. Now, if I do this, I am going to end up inundated with things I don't want. So let's change into a body that doesn't have any bots. And then I am going to pull these up. And I'm going to make some attempt to center these boxes on the build. Okay, so we are back to 1 box per carriage. Then we are going to want to pull up the whole of this and the whole of this. Then we're going to take our poison capsule annotated build. We're going to put that down I think that's centered there. And this box goes there. And I've got I could move this all in by 1 square, possibly 2 squares. No, by 1 square. I'm not sure if that's worth doing. Right, so that's the build. Now, this is going to be painful. Let's rip up this. And I wonder if we have... Oh, I should have cut off the belts. It's alright, it'll be fine. Everything's disabled because it's marked for deconstruction. Okay, do we have standard storage chests? No. Alright, what I think I'm going to do is donate some construction bots into this network. Well, where did they go? Have they just flown off into the middle of nowhere? No, they're doing something. Okay. So they are not sure what to do because there are presumably orders blocking each other. Let's give them all 400. Okay, so some of these orders are getting through. These ones are yeah, so these are trying to put down. They can't put down because things need to pick up. And they can't pick up because there, I think, is no storage. I think. Okay, so I think if I put down a storage box, that would fix the problem. And storage, I don't have any storage boxes on me for no good reason. Right, so let's set up, let's call in the outpost train. I think we can put it down here without blocking anything too serious. Okay, on it comes. And this is one of those, I've done it 5 times, so I should blueprint it type things. Take a blueprint of this station, call it outpost. Remember the station name. Then here we are. So where's that? That would be it. Right. Well, come on, outposting train. At the moment, those the construction bots are getting very upset because they're picking things up and putting things down and can't get anywhere. Okay, so I want to find storage. Okay, so now they can do things because they're picking things up and putting things down. Okay, and let's temporarily extend it out to cover this build. Great, so then it can pack all this up for me as well, and then I can pick it up from the storage boxes in a moment. So, how's it doing? It's mainly getting insanely fed up with moving gears out of boxes. I didn't cap any chests. Well, I'm not going to bother to now, but the intermediate chest for the gear production, that should be capped. Okay, so when they get put back, I'm going to cap those to 2 stacks. And I should go and do that right now in the mining drill build. Let's head on up. Hoover. Right, so I have a bunch of gear builds, and these are not capped. So there is a possibility of this whole build going absolutely nuts, filling up these chests with 1 billion gears. Okay, there we are. So at the moment, this is not running. Why is it not running? It doesn't have anything. We don't have any logistics bots because we haven't put the logistics supply box down. I can go back into a building suit here. This is safe. Okay, and then this needs a couple of logistics bots just to seed the system. So that's why we hadn't managed to back up the whole build, because we didn't have any logistics bots. Okay, so this will now do its thing of ramping up the number it's got by calling in the train. And where have we got to with this build? Everything has stopped. Okay, because these are stuck. I hate moving live builds. This is one of those things which you have to do in real games but don't have to do in creative mode. It's amazing how just a few minutes of production when you're producing at this scale can produce so many items. And you know, when they're ephemeral, when they're being made and then immediately unmade, it doesn't make any difference. But when you have them statically sat here, it becomes insane. Right, so there were some other jobs to do while we're waiting for this. So let's get back into my running suit. The iron smelter wasn't working, or at least it was partially working. Right, take my life in my hands. Yeah, because a bunch of the inserters are not on. And I think the reason for this is there's a couple of green wires missing. From there to there. From there to there. From there to there. Okay, those ones are working now. There is no safe way to get around here. I'm just going to have to run. Okay, then we appear to have the same issue here. So there to there. Those ones. Those ones. Great, now the entire smelting build is on. Yep, green lights everywhere. Okay, skirt steel. Then this is still happening. I am tempted to cut the rail, but if I did that, the iron plate train would get stuck somewhere because it would have no path. And if it got stuck somewhere, it would then, it would then have problems with everything else behind it that gets stuck behind it. I don't know how much of this is being moved by construction bots and how much by logistics. Okay. So we're emptying out all the copper plate at the moment. A few things are being placed down, so the build is getting built. And iron is buffering up because, you know, that's just the way we rock here. Okay, let's have a look on the map view to see if our fixed uranium is fixed. So we now have a full belt of uranium. And this cannot output because... Okay. I'm wondering how to deal with this. This belt is exactly full, so there's no overflow to go this way, which means these can't output. Oh great, so something's happening here. Right, this can go away, we don't need this anymore. And it's rebuilt about half of the site. Great, it's rebuilt the other half of the site. And hopefully the only things left in these storage chests are the materials. So I'll start ripping them up. Great. This one, yeah, they can go. Right, so this is copper. So we'll have to wait for that to go. Yeah, and then there's about half a build there. So this just needs to spend time now sorting itself out. But it will sort itself out. Okay, let's head home because we need to have another go at the uranium processing. Right, let's think of another way to do the prioritization. So the way I want the priority to work is cycle the 235 around. Then when there is space, send the excess home to be turned into fuel and nukes. What I seem to have done is create a very effective moving carousel. Because it can't put any more items on the belt, but the belt is not overflowing. All right. So let's run over there and have another look. We need to fix this because without uranium we don't have fuel. Without fuel the whole thing grinds to a halt. Okay, here we are. So this belt is full, but it's not overflowing. So there's always room to put it out. Okay. All right, so let's do something a bit crazy. Okay, so if we brought that all the way out to there, then we could prioritize that left. I'm out of undergrounds. This is the problem working across different types of builds in different places. I keep running out of essential materials. Okay, so that then would go off to here, and we would send this on out there. This would also be a priority. So we're always prioritizing stuff to go around the loop. Thank you. Okay. any excess is now going on this secondary belt. Okay, we don't need that at all. That can go there. So now we have an overflow belt. So we prioritize dumping this stuff out onto this belt here. So we put it onto a little, what looks a bit like a belt stub. Then anything it can't carry straight forward goes down the other side. Gets added to. Let's see if this actually works. But whenever it can't put onto the right hand side, it's going to overflow to the top, to the left. But we just made exactly the same mistake as before. No, some went through. Okay, well this is attempt 3 at this. I don't know if I trust it. Yeah, I don't trust it. So let's do this differently. So this is going to, we'll pull this up. All right, so the final splitter here is a priority split. Okay, let's. Right, sorry. I was having a bit of a problem eating. Okay. So the final split is a priority split. However, if all the others are just standard splits, then that means there's always room to put down because you're effectively putting down across 2 belts. Okay, and then whenever there are items lining up on the 2 belts, it's going to send those extra lined up items down the other way. So we're going to tend to have a blue belt which is half full, because about half the time it's going to line up with an item on the other belt. That means we're constantly sending uranium out. We're also constantly cycling uranium, and the machines can keep going. So let's watch them for a minute to check they are running. They do seem to be. Okay, what's the next thing? So we were rebuilding guns. And there's a couple of complaints from this prod mods. Seriously, I still have this. Am I not picking that stuff up, walking over it? Oh well. Right, so I would like to find out how the iron sight is working. Don't need a gun. So I would like to go to iron ore and find out what's going on there. So, is it iron I was worried about? Yeah, it's iron ore. Is it? Let's check. The one I was worried about was the one that was on here. So that's northeast copper 2. Okay. And you'll see why I was worried in a minute. Okay, let's look down here. So the Coverex machines are still running. I could swap the order of these inserters around so that it's putting out the good uranium before it's picking it up, but I kind of like allowing these things to cycle around, to be honest. Okay, pick this train up. There should be an ore train incoming soon. Yeah, there is. Is there? Have I just picked completely the wrong time to come here? Okay. Let's go over to copper smelting. Where are we? Yeah, copper smelting. So we have one ore in the stack, we have one ore just loading, one ore just leaving. Okay, so we really do need to fix this issue with the stackers. We'll do that either the end of this episode or the beginning of next, depending on time. Okay, is there a train coming in? There is, very slowly. What else can we check? So, is Coverex still working? Yes, I am that paranoid. Yeah, it is. Oh, this one isn't quite. It didn't quite get enough. Okay, so it's just on the edge of working. We'll have to watch it over time to see if this belt thins out so much that it doesn't work at all. But I think the fix for that will be to swap the order of these inserters. Okay, there's an ore train. What else can we check on? So, we appear to have mostly built our solar. That's great. I think we have now built enough here from this train station that I'm going to move it up to here. I'll manually patch all these bits and we will fill out this area. Okay, so where are we going? This is our little spur. Then we join onto the north-south run. Okay. And this is our big intersection with the 4-lane highway, which we don't use. Okay, then we're going around here and up onto it. So that's not awful as a route goes, but it's not ideal. I'm wondering how else I could do this. There's a nice big iron patch there, so I'm likely to bring other trains in this way. Okay, and then we go up the correct leg of our bus and into here, where we have the issues with the stacker. Okay. So, one last check on Coverex. 2 machines are now not happy. 2 are happy again. And as for our uranium, we're building a backlog. So I am calling this done, although it's not perfect by any means. Our base, if you look at this, a lot of the smelting is still switched on. This is the smelting to some of our production, so it's not a big issue that it's turned off. We're not currently making belts and things like that. Right, what are we waiting on? Space science. The space science is halfway through. We are slightly behind on gold. That's fine. Everything else is backed up, which is why some of the smelters aren't going. And we're not doing any research because we aren't launching rockets. We aren't launching rockets because we have a lack of red circuits. We have a lack of red circuits because they are all going into making modules. So it's pretty much the same story as we've had for a while. This story is going to be fixed soon because we now have a sufficiency of red circuits here. Yeah, so we have 8K red circuits in all these. So we're waiting to take them off somewhere, and the place to take them off to is blue circuits. So the next build we're going to sort out is blue circuits. That's going to require us to sort out the acid build. And acid requires a small amount of iron plate, which is kind of bizarre. And water. So where might we do that? I might make a dedicated acid build up here. It's really low volume, like embarrassingly low volume. So if there was room, I'd stick it on the end, but I don't think there is room. Fuel is going here. Well, it is so low volume, it almost doesn't matter where I put it. But I don't want to put it on this spur. That would be a shame. And I can't really move the water, so I really want to put it above the water, but my wall is in the way. But I think, are we going to, we're going to be growing this up for a bit. Grumbles. Maybe the solution is to build it on site here, to have a little sulfuric acid maker. Is it? Oh, it's also needed for batteries. So it does make sense to have a separate sulfuric acid build. So yeah, I'll have to have a think about that. I think the simplest place to put it would be above the water, but if we put it above water, we might hit the wall. So we will see. Okay, so next episode, we're going to sort out the issue with the rails here. It'll be the same fix across multiple sites. Yeah, basically we need to move all this up a couple of tiles, I think. But we'll have a play, see how we can do it. All right, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and next time hopefully we will resolve these rail issues. Bye.